Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling. Podcast
is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those.
Can't nobody fuck with me, man. You know, I can't be fucked with, you know.
Dazn Productions.
Whether you pay to see me win or you pay to see me lose, you're gonna pay. Fuck it, your kids still gotta eat. I don't have to watch, you know, any footage of a fighter. I mean, because I'm Floyd Mayweather, everybody gotta watch me. I knew eventually I was gonna have to fight Oscar. I feel like he was straight up and down, no special effects.
BoxingVoice.com.
How can Canelo have the biggest deal? Your deal is for $300 million, and I made $350 million just in one fight. And you're fighting on an app.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm a king, okay? I eat a feast. Every time I eat a feast. And when I get up from the table, I don't give a fuck who get the leftovers. At the end of the day, follow my green print.
Dazn Productions.
BoxingVoice.com.
What up? Welcome back, TBV family. What it do? You already know it is Ness GTO. I'm riding solo dolo, Scarface, no Manolo. We putting it down, man. It's some news out here and we need to discuss it. It's breaking. It's hot. It's what everybody wants. Do we want it as much as we want Earl versus Crawford? Maybe not, but this one definitely is second on the list in terms of welterweight matchups that hardcores desire. So what we're discussing today, obviously, is Shawn Porter conducting an interview on the Akin Barak show, The Sweet Scientist, that's also on Sirius and XM Boxing and Dazn. And when asked about him being satisfied with his legacy, he says, it's Terence Crawford. I've not given up on that fight. I've not given up on that fight. I've had conversations with my dad. Go get that fight. That's the fight for me. So my dad's working on it. Luckily for us, we've been having Ken Porter scheduled for some time now. I happen to be back in studio right on time because he's scheduled for Wednesday. That means we'll have some inside info. So Ken Porter is here Wednesday, and let me just double check my schedule. I think he's gonna be here at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Let's see. Boom, boom. 4:30. 4:30 his time. That's 7:30 our time. Damn, that's gonna ruin my gym schedule. Oh shit! I gotta change everything now with this gym being open at 6, bro. That murders everything. Hopefully, it makes me more efficient because you know I don't have that break, and I could just work straight through from the morning till 6. But yeah, we'll have Ken Porter, and he'll be on Wednesday. And let me actually, now that I'm with y'all, go ahead and schedule Mike, Polite Coffee, and Thurman. Make sure that we're good for Thurman. Mañana. Tomorrow. You know? So, yeah, just sending that message to Keith. Hold on. Cause you know y'all been talking real slick about Keith, man. I've been seeing y'all dudes talking real greasy on these R&B records, man. Y'all been out here getting fat while I was over here working, man. I'm back, though. You feel me? I'm about to take it up to 3 times a fucking day, man, on y'all, man. For real. You know what I'm saying? I gotta eat, even though I ate. It ain't my birthday. I got my name on the cake. Nah, Thurman ain't stand me up, champ. Remember, I was moving, and the first one he did have to cancel, but that's show business, man. If I go ahead and get upset every single time an interview fell out, man, shit, I'd blow my top, bruh. And that's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. But speaking of the truth, and not, no pun intended, we ain't talking about Earl. We talking about the fact that Shawn, you know, we got to give Shawn his respect. Can we give him his respect at this point? Win or lose, regardless of if he gets this fight tonight, can we give him his respect? You know, even after Bob Arum bashes him in the media and says Ugas is more popular, even after Bob Arum totally tries to downgrade his worth in the media and say he's not giving him more than $1 million, here is Shawn being the bigger man and willing to still fight this man, still not give up on negotiations with a Terence Crawford. I mean, hat off to my man Shawn Porter, man. Hat off. You got to respect a dude like that, man. For real. He could have been like, yo, I told y'all, see, $1 million, man, this dude disrespectful, bop, 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 whoop, diddy, whoop. Nah, none of that. None of that. And that's what Earl's doing. Oh, you ain't want to fight me, I ain't fighting you, haha. That ain't what Bud doing. I mean, that ain't what Porter doing. He ain't like, oh, you offered me $1 million? Y'all need a fight. Now y'all got to pay X amount. Nah, he like, yo, let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, you would say that. Your name's Lucifer. He's desperate. A millionaire's desperate. Man, get your ass out of here, man. 2-time champion in the welterweight division, the sexiest division. He desperate. I swear, man. But your username is Lucifer, man. So I should have known better. Man. You know? Why don't I get Shawn on the horn? I don't know. We're going to have to ask Ken, man. Shawn is big time, man. You know, he on Fox and Fox Sports, and he on, you know, the Porter Way podcast. You know, he had a baby, you know. Lot cooking with Mr. Shawn Showtime Porter. But I think that the biggest thing that's actually cooking is the fact that he's still willing to do this fight. And not only is he willing to do it, he's not sitting on his hands twiddling his thumbs. You know, he's not just sitting there saying shit on an interview. He actually instructed his manager, trainer, father to go get that fight. I'm with you, Brandon. Lucifer by Jay-Z was fire, but the Lucifer in the chat is just a hater, man. You know how that goes, man. Lucifer, dawn of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of here. That was my shit. Yo. So, man, welterweight. I mean, look, this is a good fight. We've always wanted this, right? We've talked about it since we first started talking about it. But the good thing is that now that we know Ugas is gonna be fighting Earl, you know what I'm saying? And FYI, Earl's truly the big fish out here, man. He sold more tickets with less tickets sold than Canelo, man. He out here wilding for respect, for real, man. He out here really, really, really trying to make a name for himself, man. You know what I mean? Like he's battling with the big dogs, man, in terms of numbers, man, and that's impressive, man. Again, remember that Earl already set a record being one of the very few, if not only fighter to do 3 consecutive pay-per-views. You know, and we ain't talking about losing in your first one like Canelo did. No, we talking about win, win, win. You know what I'm saying? Just saying is what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, there's documents all over the internet. It broke news today that Earl actually did $2.6 million in gate revenue, where Canelo did 2.3, and that was versus Smith, and obviously Spence took on Danny. So that being said, I'm bringing all that to bring up Spence is doing big business. He's occupied. He has options. You can tell that by the numbers he's bringing in, not only on pay-per-view, but now gate. He topped Canelo during the pandemic. Canelo did a fight. He did a fight. He made more money in tickets sold than Canelo. So we have to understand that when we're talking about Earl, he is the big fish of the division. So because he's busy, about to grab that third belt, this is a good consolation prize for Crawford and Porter, who are both significant names in the division, and this will make a great fight. We got a super chat from Show Kid. What up, Show Kid? I'm sad I ain't get to see you spar in person, man, before the big fight. But he says they're going to either dismiss Porter as not worthy, 2, lowball him, or 3, act like they got another big fight lined up. Not happening. Listen, you could only lead the horse to water, man. All we can do is come on here and reassure Team Crawford and Team Porter that we are behind this fight, that we want and like this fight, and that if it happens, we're going to support it, whether that means financially or just by turning on our television for viewership. Now, whether or not they want to lowball Porter to avoid him, that's a totally different story, because he's a tough fight. And if Porter beats Crawford, there is no undisputed. There is no more hype about Crawford and Spence. You know what I mean? If Porter derails that, the big show is over. So I get it. Maybe this is one of those fights. Remember, Gennady Golovkin chose not to fight Derevyanchenko before the third fight with... Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, so Gennady Golovkin fought Vanes Martirosyan instead of fighting Derevyanchenko. The same shit that Canelo gets laughed at. Meanwhile, Canelo actually wanted to fight Derevyanchenko, sent him a $5.5 million offer. Derevyanchenko insisted he didn't want to take it. He wanted more. And, Canelo had to vacate the belt, whereas Vanes actually did that. My boy Gennady actually did that because he didn't want to fight Derevyanchenko, because he understood it was a dangerous fight, and that dangerous fight would mean that he could possibly not make it to the Canelo fight. Derevyanchenko proved that he could have upset Gennady. You understand? He ended up fighting Gennady 3 years later or something, but he proved that maybe if Gennady would have took that fight, in LA that day, that Cecilia Barakis fought on the card and actually robbed Tori Nelson, that maybe he would have lost. So dangerous fights sometimes don't happen depending on the timing. And for Crawford, this is that. Anyone that wants to believe that Porter isn't dangerous, well, ask Malignaggi that. Malignaggi claimed that Porter was a drug cheat after that knockout loss he suffered to Porter. He could not. He said, I've been hit by plenty of dudes, and Porter hit me harder than ever. Right? So tough fight for anybody, man. Tough fight for anybody. But this is the news, man. This is the news. Porter is instructing his dad to go get that damn thing done. And I am very, very much pleased with that, man. Again, he could have took so many different approaches. He could have been like, $1 million. You disrespectful. I just did a pay-per-view. $1 million. I'm a two-time. You know what I mean? But he's still leaving that door open, and I think that is what needs to be highlighted, and that's what we need to praise about Showtime Shawn Porter. His willingness to get in the ring with whoever the public perceives as a great fight. So thank you, Showtime Shawn Porter. It's so funny that this news broke today because I think like 2 days ago I posted like, you know, how far back me and Porter go. He's actually the first dude I spar with legit, and the one that gave me the bug. Like, obviously it wasn't a legit sparring, right? But it was my first time legitimately like putting on headgear and wrapping my hands and literally wearing a mouthpiece for boxing, right? So I got to experience my first time with Porter, even though that sounds wild homo. It was a beautiful moment, and I remembered it and I posted it. And then Ken is like, yeah, you better be missing me too, you know? And I'm like, you know I miss you, Ken. But the point is, Porter's an amazing person, and if he can get this fight, I don't think there's a better person out there that deserves such an opportunity. You know, fight fans, sometimes we get caught up in what we want so much that we belittle certain fighters, and Porter might end up being the butt end of some of those jokes, but we got to remember that this is a dude whose willingness to fight the best is unmatched. You know, it never is a thing about money for Porter, and here we are proving that correct, man. Instead of him turning his back on this fight and saying, man, they offered me $1 million, I'm done, I'll never fight in Crawford. Nah, that's not what he's saying. And instead, he's still trying to get this fight. He still wants this fight. He still thinks this is a legacy fight, and he has instructed his father to get that fight. You guys wanted to hear dogs. There you go. We got No G in Dallas. It says, put pressure on Bob. He lowballed Porter so they would move on to the next fight. Bob has caca in his pants now. Team Porter. Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying about Porter. He is revisiting this knowing that Bob tried to play him in the negotiations. And that's calling Bob's bluff. That's showing Bob, look, Porter's willingness once again to work with the opposite side, to work with whoever to get the best fight for the fans done. So this was just a quick update. This just came out. This was on the Ak and Barack show on SiriusXM and Dazn. If you want to catch the full interview, go ahead and do so. But once again, Showtime Shawn Porter letting everybody know that he has instructed, and I quote his father, he said, go get that fight. That's the fight for me. Go get that fight. So his dad is working on it. That's what he told Ak and Barack, the sweet scientist. Looks like we got JT on the line. JT, are you just listening, or are you going to talk on this topic? If not, I got to cut out. Definitely got the gym to get to, but I want to thank everybody that tuned in. We back 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We got a whole week scheduled of fantastic interviews, and we working. We got Mike Polite Coffee coming on. We should have Keith Thurman and Ken Porter coming on all this week, so make sure that you guys stay tuned in. So don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice. It's Nes GTO, Solo Dolo, Scarface No Manolo. We out.